Hello, welcome back to the channel. So the 3.3 characters have been revealed and they are Hyacine and Cipher. And I'll be honest, I did not expect these two to be next, but I guess like it kind of makes sense since they're like the only two that we really know anything about besides Finon, and he's probably going to be like one of the last characters since the only other characters that we know about are all like mysteries and we don't really know anything about them yet. So let's start with Hyacine. I don't really have much of an opinion on her, I'm gonna be honest, because we just don't really know anything about her since most of the focus in the story was on Tribby and Maide, which, does make sense. But in terms of, like, gameplay, she's gonna be a remembrance healer, right? Like, there is no way she's not. Like, she's literally, like, the healer character. I can't really see her being, like, a DPS or anything else. And one thing is, it is kind of weird that, like, we are getting an X of this patch, who is Wind, and we're immediately getting another Wind character the next patch after. Though, like, I guess I couldn't really see her being anything else, so I guess it does kind of make sense with her connection to, like, the Sky Titan and all that stuff. I don't know, I just feel like the timing is a bit, like, weird there, I don't know. At least, like, it is good that we are presumably going to be getting a new sustain, since we don't really get many of those, but I already made a video about that. Now, Cipher being Nihility was probably like the last thing I was expecting her to be. I thought she'd be like Hunt or something, but apparently not. Quantum Nihility, which is the same thing as Silverwolf. Now, I doubt she's going to do the same thing as Silverwolf, being like a huge debuffer. My guess is that she might be a Dot character. I mean, is that just me hoping for Dot to come back? Yes, but, I could hope, alright? I mean, she could also maybe be a debuffer, since the last, like, real debuffer was kind of like, well, like Jiaoqiu. I guess technically we had, like, Fugue, but she's more of, like, a super bright character, so I don't really feel like that's the same thing. I mean, her being Nihility doesn't technically mean that she can't be a DPS, since Acheron is there. And I guess technically Kafka 2 is also kind of a DPS, but not really the same. I'm just in that she's probably going to use, like, the clones that we see in her splash art or kit in some sort of way. Maybe to, like, I don't know, inflict some sort of debuff or something, I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what she's gonna do, because we haven't even seen her in the game yet. Like, at least with the Hyacine, we have a model, we have something. Where we haven't even seen her at all, so I don't know. She could also maybe do something with, like, money, or, like, stealing stuff from the enemies some way, since her buff in the new Divergent Universe is about, like, getting a lot of money and doing more damage. But I have no idea how that would work. Like, maybe she gets, like, a certain number of, like, stacks or something, and she, like, does more damage based on how much stacks she's, like, steal from the enemy or something. I don't know. Now, in terms of pull value, the thing that is most important, firstly, is do you like the characters? Because if you like them, you should always pull for them. I do not care how good or bad the characters are. If you like them, you should pull for them, because at the end of the day, it is a video game. You should be pulling for characters you like and having fun. That is the most important thing. Now, in terms of, like, actual, like, viability, I'm not really sure. I'm sure they're probably going to be, like, fine characters. I'm just really sure since, like, debuffers and sustainers are kind of, like, the least valued and, like, pulled characters in the game. Like, I mean, Jiaoqiu wasn't really that pulled. Link Show wasn't really that pulled as well, Like, to be fair, those were kind of around, like, big characters, so that is kind of makes sense. But, like I said, it's not to say that I didn't think they're going to be bad. They will probably be very good, since every character we have gotten since, like, 2.0 basically has been, like, at the very least, like, good. And Hyacine specifically will probably be, like, the best support option for Remembrance teams. But I feel like a lot of people are going to skip them because they feel like they just don't, like, need them, That is kind of one problem right now, is that the power level is so high that if a character isn't, like, at or above that power level, then a lot of people just aren't going to pull for them. Even if they, like, aren't bad at all, they're just not, like, as disgustingly broken as some other characters, Also, there is one last thing that I want to talk about in regards to this patch, which is the whole, like, lack of 4 stars thing. I am, like, the biggest advocate for new 4 stars. Like, basically, I've made, like, 2 videos about it. I've, like, mentioned it in, like, so many videos. However, one thing that I do want to say about the whole 4-star thing is that everyone wants new 4 stars until the character that they like is a 4-star. I mean, I remember so many people complaining that, like, Mose was a 4-star, the same thing with, like, Gallagher as well, because I do think that there is a reason besides just money. Like, I don't buy that it is just because of money. I do think that is, like, part of it, but I don't think that's the whole reason. So, like, my theory is that Hoyo saw that people were like, oh, they don't really like these characters that we have being 4 stars, so we just shouldn't make 4 stars. We should make them all 5 stars to make them more exciting. Now, do I agree with that? No, but it would kind of explain why ever since Mose, we haven't gotten any 4 stars. And to be honest, like if Hoyo doesn't want to make 4 stars just to like make the new characters more exciting, then they should just make alternate forms instead. You know, things like Hunt March. Like it would solve a lot of problems. You know, it would give people more options if they don't have, you know, certain 5 stars, and while also simultaneously buff old characters and give them the opportunity to, you know, come back and be better. You know, because let's be honest, like how many of you actually used March before she got her Hunt form? Like, let's be honest. Like if they are going to release more 4 stars, then I think the alternate forms for like way more characters besides just March and the Trailblazer is a good compromise for that. Went on a bit of a tangent. I do think that both Hyacine and Cipher do look interesting. I mean, I like their designs. I don't really have a problem with their designs at all, to be honest. I'm just not really sure about them yet in terms of gameplay and like story, because we just don't know anything about them. Like I said, Cipher hasn't even showed up in the game yet. But I do think they definitely have potential to be really good. I just don't know how many people are actually going to pull for them. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.